Hello, ladies.
Hi. It's so great to be here. Great to be with you. Caitlin's in the room next door, and I'm here. And we showed up today, and we're like, hey, we're matchy-matchy. It's just like being in MOPS in person when you show up and someone else is wearing the same outfit as you are. So really funny. We're so glad to be with you today. We're so thankful for clearer skies, a little bit better weather today. We can all breathe a little bit easier after our kind of strange and creepy day yesterday. So we are so glad to be here with you and kicking off our Decide to Rise season together. So just a little bit of things to get us started. We just wanted to remind you all that MOPS is a place where we welcome all moms just as they are. We want all moms to feel welcome and connected, and that they are given an opportunity to be real with each other. And we want this to be a place to ask questions about faith and motherhood and explore and share our fears, our failures, our faith and successes too. And we want you to leave our gatherings feeling inspired to be a better mom, a better wife, a better woman and friend through the topics that we offer and our discussion groups. And that's why MOPS International connects moms all over the world to a community of moms who come together to laugh, to cry, and embrace the journey of motherhood. And while how we do MOPS might look new this year, why we do MOPS remains the same, and we are still on mission because better moms make a better world. So we wanted to introduce ourselves for those of you that might not know us yet. I am Christina Simmons, and Caitlin Hammond's right over here.
Hello.
And so we just wanted to share a little bit about ourselves. I've been part of MOPS for going on 10 years now, so I am an OG. Let me show you a picture of my family. These are my kiddos. Audrey is 16, Katie is 13, and Emma is 8. And we are at 3 different schools: high school, middle school, and elementary school, all virtually, of course. So it's a little bit crazy. Teenagers are just like toddlers, though. They're just bigger. Their opinions are just as loud. So I joined MOPS when my family moved here from Southern California, and I had no friends, no family in the area. I was leaving a job that I loved and really coming up here without any connections. And so it was just great because I feel like God really led me to MOPS and connected me with this great community of women that I've been privileged to be a part of for so long. I know without a doubt that MOPS has made me a better mom, a better wife, and helped me get through the really crazy years of infancy and toddlerhood, and even into the teenage years and beyond right now. So let me bring Caitlin on. She can introduce her family too.
Hi, everyone. It's Caitlin here. I was about to say good morning because that's what I'm so used to for MOPS, but good afternoon, trying something new this year. So this is my family here on the screen. Addison, when we first started at MOPS, was only 6 months old, and now she's 5. So this is my 6th season here at CPC Foster City MOPS. And then Linnell is 3 going on 12. She's just got a little mind of her own and is very determined. And then Easton is now 1.5 years, and we are just obsessed with him. He is a family favorite for sure. And we decided to dive into the world of homeschooling this year. So we've got a couple weeks under our belts for that, and it's been going well. Everybody has survived so far. And so there's no drop-off tiers this year. I know last year it was my first time leaving Addison for preschool and Easton in the nursery. So we are tier-free. We are good to go today. And then my husband Chris and I have been together for, we've been married for 8 years. We've been together for like 15 now. And we met in a similar MOPS group like this when our moms were in a moms group together. So it'll be exciting to see in the future if we have any MOPS weddings from the kiddos here in our group. And I've just really loved being a part of this group, this community. When we moved here 6 years now ago, I just stopped my full-time job and moved away from family and friends that were just right around the corner. So coming and just feeling so welcome and connected right away was just really inspiring for me and just what I needed. So I hope that even though we're connecting virtually through Zoom and through these gatherings, that you also still get that same feeling of just being loved and welcomed, because that's what MOPS is all about, and that's not going to change this year just because we're on screens. So yeah, I'm excited to see everybody later on.
So we shared with you a little bit about how long we've been in MOPS. Go ahead and comment in the chat and let us know how long you've been a part of MOPS and whether you're a MOPS mom or Mom's Next mom. We'd love to hear from you. And as you put your comments in the chat, know that as you participate and be a part of what's happening online, we're going to be drawing some names at the end of every gathering so that you'll be entered to win some prizes and make it a little more fun. So go ahead and do that. Participate in our chat. So let me kick it back to Kate, who's going to tell you a little bit more about what we have in store today.
Yeah, so we're just going to start off with our welcome. So we'll just explain a little bit about what our meetings will look like each week now that we're doing it this version of MOPS. We're going to talk about the theme a little bit. MOPS chooses a theme and 3 big ideas that they want to encourage us with each year. So we'll go through those today. We are going to have a speaker, Lisa Jo Baker. She was presented from MOPS International just this week on their Facebook Live. And we, as a steering team, and Christina and I just loved her. So we're going to watch a little portion of her about how to stage a parenting comeback. And I feel like I could use a comeback right about now for parenting. We've just been with our kids so much. And then we will break out into our Zoom groups. So for now, we're just going to break out into MOPS and Moms Next for our Zoom meetings. But as we get a few more meetings in, we're going to break everybody up into smaller groups, just like a regular table as if we were in person. So we'll kind of give it a few meetings just to make sure everybody's comfortable. They get to know one another, and then we'll break you out into your groups. And we thought that maybe when you meet your table group or your virtual Zoom group, you can decide if a different day works better for you or a different time of day to meet on Zoom, or if you're all comfortable, you can meet in person, but we're just going to leave that up to each individual group and to give guidelines for that. And then I know it's so hard to focus on anything when you have little ones running around. I'm super thankful for my own mom that she is at home with my kids right now, so I could be here with Christina. But if you need something to keep them busy, the wonderful CPC Kids staff is going to put together packets that they'll mail out to you. So it'll just be some fun little worksheets for you. There'll be a link for a craft time. So if you have older kids that can log onto their computers and watch the craft, they'll be able to do that. And then there'll be some videos. So you can put those on the screen. You know they're safe. You know that they're going to be encouraging for your kids. And we hope that buys you a little bit of time so that you can focus on our group here. So Christina's going to cover some housekeeping things up next, kind of like the first day of school for all of us with the teachers and their syllabus. And yeah, just we'll get you a couple things there before we dive right into the good stuff.
So first of all, we wanted to thank CPC for this amazing MOPS set that they have put together for us. You guys, you should see it looks like a spaceship. We've got cameras and monitors, and we can bring each other on and off and share slides and share video. Major upgrade from what was happening in the spring. So yes. Thank you to CPC for giving us really all the tools and resources we need to be together in this new format. So I hope you like our set. We decorated it and brought some things from home and purchased a couple new things to make it feel really homey, like we're sitting together at someone's house on a couch. Wish we could have a cup of coffee together. But if you have any suggestions, and you can put in the chat where you like to shop for your home decor, because throughout the year, we're going to be adding different things like Christmas stuff, maybe some pumpkins for fall. So tell us where your favorite place to shop is. We'd love to see that in the chat. And it's fun to scroll through and see everybody. Hi, Rachel, Karen. We see Christy Griggs. Glendy is on. Stephanie, good to see you here too. So we're just really excited to see you commenting in the chat. And it just feels like we're more together. I also wanted to thank our steering team. Guys, we met all summer long, usually the first every Monday at 4 o'clock. Initially, we were just coming together for emotional support because what was going on over the summer, right? We just, cried together, prayed for one another, supported each other. And then we also talked about MOPS and how we were going to come together in this new format. So I wanted to thank Kathy, Lynn, Linda, Jenny, Diana, Christy, Gina, Cy, Aaron, and Nicole. Thank you all for helping us get to where we are now and being able to deliver MOPS in this new format. Love you guys. So let's chat next about the welcome gift. Most of you were able to attend our Popsicle in the Park party, which was so much fun to see each other from a safe distance behind our mom's superhero masks. That was a lot of fun. We hope to be able to do more in-person events safely, following all the right health guidelines. As we can, we're talking about doing some kind of trunk or treat as Halloween gets close, so stay tuned for that. So the welcome gift, I hope you got your Decide to Rise pen and notepad, because a mom's work is never done. I know that these days I can hardly remember what day of the week it is, so if I don't write it down, it doesn't happen. So here's to crossing things off of our to-do list. I hope you also got your MOPS magnet, which is a pink circle, looks like an M. The idea is that you put this on the back of your car, and as you're at Trader Joe's or Target or Costco and another MOPS mama sees your M, she or her kiddos could flip the M to a W, so it would go upside down on your car, and say a little prayer for you, send some well wishes your way. And when you come back to your car and see that your M has been flipped, you'll know that another MOPS mama was there and sent you some prayers and well wishes. It's been a lot of fun for my kids to do that over the years. As we drive around, they're always on the lookout for other MOPS moms' M's. So it's just a way to have a presence in the community and feel more connected. You also should have received a little notebook. It's blank. And the idea is that you might want to jot down, what you've learned from our speakers or from our videos. The shortest pencil really is longer than the longest memory. So I hope that helps you be able to jot some inspiration down and go back and reflect on it. I know I'm a note taker. I love to have my pencil moving as I'm listening. And then there's also a note card with the theme verse that should have looked like this. So I hope you got that in your packet. Hang on to this and bring it with you to the Zoom call that's going to be happening at the end of the live broadcast, because we're going to use that to kick off our season with a little activity in the beginning. So if you have just recently registered for MOPS and you didn't get those materials, we're definitely going to do our best to get those to you, either through a drive-by drop-off on your porch, or we'll send it over to you in the mail. So let's talk a little bit about our theme for this year, Decide to Rise, and I'll kick it over to Caitlin for that.
Okay. So let us know in the chat what you thought about first for that theme when you first saw it. What was something that came to mind for you? And MOPS is really saying this year, sometimes we believe that motherhood is a constraint that limits what we can do in life. But MOPS wants to remind us this year that motherhood isn't a constraint. It's actually a catalyst. Our theme verse that we'll be focusing on this year is Psalm 139:14. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. And I was just really excited that is going to be a focus for us, because I think we really, as a steering team and the leaders, thought we believe this for our children. Like, we want this so badly for our kids, but we don't ever feel it for ourselves. So I'm really excited for this year just to focus on this verse for myself as it relates to me and to God. So I'm really excited for that, because we were fearfully and wonderfully made. We do have work to do. Work we are made for. This year we will arise as mothers to embrace our motherhood and God's plan and promises to us. So here's the 3 big ideas that they have this year. The first one is to be strong. So this is to get strong physically and mentally. Sometimes we need to build our muscle and stamina to chase kids around the yard, or just help our elderly neighbors carry some groceries. To embrace our own bodies and abilities to build it up, whatever your physical ability may be. So sometimes our thought life needs tidying up, or we need mental stamina to endure all the daily toddler meltdowns that are occurring right now. But body and mind, this is the year that we embrace the self that God has given us. And the second big idea they have is do your work. And doing your work happens in big and small ways, but it's always significant ways. It's about persevering through the daily grind of essential but mundane tasks, all the peanut butter and jelly sandwiches that I'm making every single day. And it's also about making brave choices to do new things. So doing your work looks different for each of us, but everyone's work will require some grit and some courage. Maybe it's choosing forgiveness. Maybe it's healing from a past trauma, or making amends to those that you have hurt. And when it comes to mothering, God gave those kids to you. You have been appointed, and no one can mother them like you can. So you have God and all of your MOPS sisters by your side this year. And I'll let Christina share about the third idea.
Yes, so the last one is chasing joy. So being strong, doing your work, and chasing joy. And actively seeking out joy is how we fight discouragement and fear. And I feel like for me personally, this one is something that I really need to focus in on. Don't we need more joy in this season? Chasing joy is how we fight our tendency to complain, to accuse, or be offended. And with a couple teenagers in my house, it's really easy to get quickly offended. Joy is a decision, a really brave one. about how you will respond to life in all of its circumstances. It's a gladness that isn't just about happy moments, but particularly during the hardest days. And this is something that I need to remember. Joy is contagious, especially for those who are looking up to their moms. It's so incredible, right? To see how relevant these ideas are just for our time. I feel like these were divinely inspired by God when our MOPS leaders were planning this theme like almost a year and a half ago. To have them be so relevant and so real to what we need to be hearing and practicing today is just really the work of God. There's like no other explanation. So we plan to bring speakers and topics that will be relevant to those ideas to provide encouragement and inspiration as we go through this season. So tell us in the chat which one resonated with you the most. Is it being strong? Is it doing your work? Is it chasing joy? Let us know what you think. And MOPS has even supplied this really cool little scratch off, basically. It says decide to rise, and there's a category for each of the 3 big ideas, and every meeting we'll just scratch one of these off and see what kind of challenge is in there. We can talk about it on our Facebook group. So Caitlin, which one do you think you want to vote for? Is it be strong, do your work, or chase joy?
I think chase joy.
Chase
we all
joy.
Need a little more joy right now, right?
Okay, so let's do chase joy and let's see what ends up happening.
Okay,
I'm scratching it off with my penny, which, there's that national coin shortage. So,
yeah.
I had to kind of dig around for my penny. Okay, so it says, drum roll, schedule a day to act like a tourist in your own town. So schedule a day to act like a tourist in your own town. And I could see my kids being happy to get out of the house and drive around a little bit and maybe pop out of the car, take some pictures. Schedule a day to act like a tourist in your own town. Try a new ice cream shop. I have some great recommendations I could share with you. So that's what we're going to do. If you go out and act like a tourist in your own town, post some pictures on Facebook and let us know how it goes. A fun way to choose some joy. So the speaker we wanted to share with you today, we can transition into the speaker, is Lisa Jo Baker on how to stage a parenting comeback. And I love that idea, a parenting comeback. When it feels like all of life has been put on hold, the idea of having a comeback is just so appealing. So you might have heard through Facebook or email that MOPS International is doing a broadcast called the Comeback Tour. And that's happening on scheduled Tuesdays for the months of September, October, and November. World-class speakers, worship, a lot of inspirational content going to be coming out through the Comeback Tour. And the first one was just this past Tuesday. And Lisa Jo Baker was just so spot on with both just real life and real encouragement that we wanted to share just that portion of the Comeback Tour with you today. So grab your MOPS notebooks, grab a pen, and get ready for Lisa Jo Baker.
Hey there, MomCon family. It's Lisa Jo, and I am appropriately, I think, coming to you from, I kid you not, inside my daughter's closet. Yes, that is where I am today. That is where I am hiding with my Bible and a drink of water to come and take a time out here and chat with you guys today. And what I want to know before we even get started is, where in your house are you hiding away from your children in order to be able to tune in? Maybe you've got a baby in your lap. Maybe you've got toddlers down the hallway eating crackers or goldfish. Maybe you're locked in the bathroom. I don't know where you are, but will you leave a comment here and let us know where in your house you are hiding to be able to tune in? And that's what these days have come to, my friends. Like, that's what it's like, right? We have to find a quiet spot in the house in order to find time to find our sanity and our joy and reconnect with the Lord and maybe our girlfriends here today. So I am just delighted that I get to kick off this new season here in the fall with you. Wish we were all together in person, but so thrilled that MOPS is giving us a chance to connect like this together. Because man, if we ever needed a comeback season, that season is now. What I love about the Bible is that it is full. You guys, it's just chock full of comeback stories. So they've asked me to talk to you today about how to stage a parenting comeback. And I had to think long and hard about it because just last week I had a moment where I texted a friend and I said to her, I don't know how to be in this house anymore with all of these people who are always in this house. I love these people, but they're never not in this house. And she texted back and said, do you want to go out for coffee? Like, do you want to go find somewhere that has outdoor seating where we could hang out and chat? And I said, no, that's not going to be private enough. I'm going to need somewhere where I can cry. And so she texted me and said, I can meet you at church. And she's a pastor at our church, and I went to meet her, and I walked right into her office and burst into tears. And we closed the door, and she got the Kleenex out, and I was able to just share with her how I feel completely inadequate and unable to face the fall, because none of the rhythms are the same. We are not meeting in person the same way. Our churches aren't the same anymore, and how we get together is not the same. We're not doing Bible study in the same way. We're certainly not doing MOPS in the same way as we have been. And even if we are, it looks and feels completely different. Not everybody we're used to seeing is there. Our kids don't have sports in the same way. Their rhythms and routines are different too. And I sat on her sofa and I cried, and she listened, and she made me feel seen. And so today I'm here to hide in my daughter's closet, because I want to tell you that as we head into this fall and we think about staging a parenting comeback, this is the word that has really helped me. I turned back to a really obscure book in the Old Testament. I'm in the book of 1 Samuel in my big purple Bible that matches my daughter's purple walls in her bedroom. And it's a story about David, because was there ever such a comeback kid as David? And it's a story about David who's been anointed king, but he's now been on the run for many, many years. And the current king is trying to kill him. Not only is the current king trying to kill him, many other kings are plotting against David at the same time. His life is bleak. He is in hiding. He's not living in a comfy home. None of the rhythms that he's used to are the same. He doesn't know when his life is going to return to normal. I feel like there's a lot about David that we can relate to in this story. So when we meet David here, this is 1 Samuel chapter 30. What's happened now is David has been hiding out in a Philistine town of Ziklag. And at the moment, what's happened is his town has been raided now by the Amalekite army. And the army has rushed in and has kidnapped everything that David holds sacred. Everything he cares about in the world has been taken from him. All right. So here we are, 1 Samuel chapter 30. This is what it says. David and his men arrived in Ziklag. That's the town that they were living in. So they'd been out, doing what warring guys do. They get back now. They get home, arrived home in Ziklag. And the Amalekites had raided the Negev and attacked and burned down Ziklag. They also had kidnapped the women and everyone in it, from the youngest to the oldest. They had killed no one, but had carried them off as they went on their way. When David and his men arrived at the town, they found it burned down. Their wives and sons and daughters had been kidnapped. David and the troops with him wept loudly until they had no strength left to weep. Just pause there to picture the scene, right? Here's David and his mighty warriors. Like picture, I don't know, like Conan the Barbarian, or any of the ancient Greek warriors that we've grown up hearing stories about. Here they are, and they've been off doing mighty men deeds of valor, and they come home and everything that they love has been taken from them, and they are crying so hard they fall down on the ground, okay? That is how I have felt in this season. That kind of exhaustion, fear, and sadness. Everything that we know feels like has been taken from us these days. And David calls the priests and they pray. And this is what David asks God. David asked the Lord, should I pursue these raiders? Will I overtake them? The Lord replied to him, pursue them, for you will certainly overtake them and rescue the people. So that's what David does. He goes off with his mighty men. They go out charging to look for the guys who've taken everything from them. They catch up with them. And the story ends with this. David recovered everything that the Amalekites had taken. He also rescued his 2 wives. Nothing of theirs was missing, from the youngest to the oldest, including the sons and daughters of all the plunder the Amalekites had taken. David got everything back. All right, why am I starting you with the story? Like, were you expecting practical tips from me on like managing kids and work from home? Nope. Here's what I've got for you. These words. God told David, pursue them, for you will certainly overtake them and you will rescue the people. Those words, pursue, overtake, and rescue. As we enter into this fall season of parenting and life and school and juggling work, here's what I want to tell you. Here is what a comeback looks like. A true parenting comeback in this season says, okay, God, what has been taken from me? What has been snatched away from me in this season? Is it my joy? Is it my peace of mind? Is it a job from someone in our family? Is it my kids' peace of mind? Is it my temper? Is it my self-control? Like, what has been taken? Because here's the good news. God will go with you to pursue that thing and get it back from the enemy. Pursue and then overtake. You guys, some days it feels like there's no hope for us moving forward. It feels so overwhelming, but we have a God who's promised to come alongside us and overtake and then rescue everything that feels like it was stolen from us. I love that acronym, POR. It's like pour, pursue, overtake, rescue. The acronym POUR reminds me of the Holy Spirit who pours into us, because there's no way to stage any kind of comeback without him. But guess what? We have full access to the Holy Spirit in this season. None of what's happening to us is a surprise to God, in the same way that what happened to David is not a surprise to God either. And David asked God, and God said, go, chase it down, get it back. I will restore it to you. Pursue, overtake, recover. That's what I pray for each of us as we head into this fall season. As we try to kick off a parenting comeback, let's start there with a God who we can come to and say, here are the things I feel like I've lost in this season. Will you help me get them back, Lord? Will you restore and recover and rescue them for our family? Because I honestly believe that he will. He will pour the Holy Spirit into you and pour it out over your tiny people, because he writes these kinds of restoration stories. My friends, pursue, overtake, rescue, and recover. That's how we stage a parenting comeback here in the fall, with the promise of the Holy Spirit who will be with us every single step of the way. He's been there when we lay on the ground crying, and he will be there with us when we pursue, overtake, and recover.
Wow. Wasn't that so incredible? I just loved what Lisa shared, like so real. I felt my heart being moved and like tearing up a little bit. Just the idea of really identifying what do we feel like has been lost or taken, and just taking all of that to God and praying and waiting for that Holy Spirit to invite us and help us to pursue, overtake, and rescue. Just so incredible. As I was listening to the comeback tour, one of the ideas they shared was the idea of the whole gospel, of the story of Jesus and how he came to rescue us, as being the ultimate comeback story. It's just so great. So I hope that Lisa blessed you, and that as we move into this fall season and try to have a parenting comeback, to really think about those ideas of pursuing, overtaking, and rescuing, and walking alongside with God to do all of that. So we're just about ready to transition into the next part of our online gatherings, which are going to be our small discussion groups. So for these first two meetings, while we're kind of kicking things off, Caitlin and I are going to host the MOPS and Moms Next groups. But as we get into our smaller groups with our table leaders, we'll be sharing that information with you shortly, probably in October, about when you'll be able to get into even smaller groups and really make those deeper connections and meet at a better time that might fit your group better. But as we transition into those small discussion groups, we just wanted to share a couple of reminders about how we do discussion groups here at MOPS. So as we're going into a Zoom environment, just a couple of things to keep in mind. First of all, please wear pants. They can be yoga pants, they can be your PJ bottoms, but we highly recommend that you have some type of covering for your lower half, just in case. But all joking aside, what happens on MOPS Zoom calls should stay on MOPS Zoom calls. We want MOPS to be a place where we can all share, be transparent and heard and affirmed. So please don't break the circle of trust by sharing any gossip or anything that you may have heard about another mom or situation with anybody else. We want to be free about our own lives and our own struggles and be transparent with those, but refrain from talking about others. Also be aware of who might be in the room or who might be overhearing, because some topics might be inappropriate for little ears. And next, let's just really take the time to listen to each other, provide time for each person on the call to share, to be aware of diversity of opinions, life situations, parenting choices, and especially this year, politics. Our goal is to keep it positive and to seek ways to build each other up. And hey, you know, as MOPS sisters, we totally get you. We know that we're kind of all on top of each other at home. You've got kids at home, you're educating at home. If you've got little ones that wander into your call or need to sit on your lap, you know, please don't let that detour you from staying on. We love to see your kids. We're sick of our own kids, but we love to see your kids and wave and give kisses. But just maybe think about using that mute button if things get a little loud in the background. And so just, you know, one other thought as we're talking about Zoom calls and what to expect from that. This just kind of made me laugh. This is your situation. Zoom meeting audio only, Zoom meeting with video only. But the idea there is, you know, we don't care how you look on camera. We just want to be together. And if we've learned anything this season, it's really about how important that connection is and being able to see one another, even if it's virtually. So I'll bring Caitlin on to share a few tips with you on how to maximize your MOPS experience.
Yeah, the one really exciting thing this year that we're doing virtual is that we can invite all of our friends from everywhere to join us. So if you want to invite a friend to try a meeting, please do. We can send them the link to our YouTube channel so that they can watch from there and then join us for a Zoom call afterwards. We'd love for them to get to do both so they can check out our group and see if they'd like to register and join. And yeah, it's just kind of fun that we can have people that maybe normally wouldn't be here, that they can be here with us. So we are also going to do MOPS mingles this year. We know it's so fun to get to be all together in person. So if you're feeling comfortable, we'll do some meetups. I have one for my house next Thursday on the 17th in my yard, but I think we're going to play it by ear for how well the air quality looks or just the amount of ash that's outside. So just look for an email to come for that. There'll be a MOPS mingle email sent out about how to register. We have to keep the groups a little bit smaller and follow all protocols. So there'll just be some forms and things to fill out for that. So keep your eyes open, but hopefully we can gather in my backyard next week on Thursday the 17th. And just thank you so much for being here today as we decide to rise together. Our next virtual meeting will be September 24th at 3:30. And our topic for that day is dignity of motherhood. So before we go to our Zoom calls, we'll put those numbers up in a minute so you can log in. I'm just going to close this in prayer. So if you just want to bow your head with me. Dear Lord, thank you so much for today and just for bringing all of these amazing mamas here virtually, Lord. I just pray that each woman will know full well that she is fearfully and wonderfully made by you, Lord. I pray that your spirit will just pour over all of us this year as we decide to rise into strength, into work, and into joy that you have planned for us. I pray that MOPS is a place that we can find connection this year, that we can connect one another, and that our meeting time will glorify you. I hope that the moms on the call today feel encouraged and feel full of joy. This little bit was just a little reminder of what it's like for that MOPS joy to overflow, Lord. And just please go with us today and let us just enjoy the rest of our day with each other and with our families, Lord. And just thank you for giving us the opportunity to meet this way this year. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
So yeah, we're going to head into our Zoom rooms. We'll give everybody a few minutes to kind of get ready and get logged in. Christina will put that slide up on the screen for us. And just to let you know, we are going to try to wrap it up in about 30 minutes. We don't really want these to go past 4:30 because we know that kind of cuts into dinner time and getting dinner prepped and stuff. So we're going to try to keep that short as we can. And then today on the Zoom call, you have that note card. That's the Decide to Rise note card. We're going to write something if you just want to think about it as you're logging on. What is making you weak, weary, or stealing your joy? So just think about that as we're logging on, and then we'll get started.
Bye, everybody. Great
Bye.
seeing you. Here's the slide for Zoom. We'll see you there next. Bye.
Bye.